What's up, everybody? I'm Dalton. I'm here tonight, blessed to be with my awesome co-host, Jay Bolton, J100, J150. The Seahawks fan? No, I'm just kidding. The Chargers fan. Our favorite Chargers fan. How you doing tonight, brother?
Oh, man, life is beautiful. I'm blessed, man. Blessed to be here another day on this earth with my guy, Dalt, a.k.a. Spidey Dalt, the one and only, a.k.a. Big Dalt 500, a.k.a. Philly Dalt, a.k.a. Delaware Dalt, a.k.a. Dalt the Man, a.k.a. Dalt the Legend, a.k.a. Dalt the Myth. Everything I can say about Dalt, he's that guy. Shout out to that shirt, though, man. That shirt's looking fly, by the way. I just want to say that. I want to point that out.
You want to let him know real quick? What color is this, Jay? Real quick, tell me what color this is.
One of my favorite colors. It's Carolina blue, baby.
Because Jay is actually a UNC fan, everybody.
I'm a big fan of the University of North Carolina, also known as Duke.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for coming through this show. Hopefully, we got some new viewers tonight. Vib can't be with us tonight. Had something to do. No worries at all. Hope all is well with him. And definitely said to tell everybody hello. But the first topic of tonight is actually something dear and close to my heart, Jay. It's something that, as a fan, I've been pondering on, and I wanted to talk about it on the show. And I guess I'll just take it first. I'll go ahead and give you my logic first, and then I want to hear your feedback. But we blew our championship window because of the two guys on Jimmy Butler's right. And if you can't see the graphic, everybody, there you go. Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris. Fuck you and fuck you. You two are the reasons that this guy left because we picked them over you. We thought we needed to pay fucknut 1 and fucknut 2, and look at how that panned out. Dumb and dumber. I don't mind Tobias as much. Tobias is a good dude. He's just not that guy. I'm sorry. And Ben Simmons, you know how I feel about him. Obviously, I'm from Philadelphia. I don't need to tell you. You already know. But the point is, the more I ponder on it, the more I think about it, the more Jimmy Butler leaving makes me say, Embiid's getting old. He's becoming a little bit more injury prone. And did we just blow our playoff window on a guy named Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons because we were worried about paying them rather than Jimmy Butler? Maybe it was Brett Brown, but I think that Jimmy would have been fine with playing for Doc. He loves Embiid. We all know that. But it also makes me think on the flip side, Jay, if the Heat don't go to the which it's looking like they should. But if they don't go to the finals or win the finals, did maybe Butler waste his time too, not pairing up with Embiid? Is it like the yin and the yang? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I agree with just about everything you said. Side note, I thought that was Patrick Mahomes at first when I seen that Ben Simmons graphic. But I think the Sixers would have rather been Patrick Mahomes because they paid the wrong man in Ben Simmons, and they paid the wrong guy in Tobias Harris and have him on the same team. Now, this is the thing, though, dog. This reminds me a lot about fantasy football because we play fantasy football. And there's times where people will say, I got 3 guys, one has to go. Am I gonna trade away the guys that I have that have the most draft capital? Because Tobias Harris, I believe he was the number 2 overall pick, but he's for sure a top 5, top 10 pick. Ben Simmons is, I believe, the number 1 overall pick. Jimmy Butler is like a 30th overall pick if he was even in the first round. So when people look at it, they might think Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons, their potential is insane. They're supposed to be these like generational players, these like KD type level players. And then you have Jimmy Butler, who's just a solid 3-and-D guy, or so they thought. And then, you've seen Jimmy Butler go to Miami. In Minnesota, he was already showing that he was this guy, and he was proving people, kind of wrong. He was on the wrong team, of course, with the guys that weren't serious about it. Now he found a team that really wants to win. He carries them. Like you said, though, you put Jimmy Butler with Joel Embiid, and they probably win a championship easily. But now he's out here with Bam Adebayo, who's also a solid player, but not as dominant as Joel Embiid, and he's been in the finals once. The bubble finals, and now he's most likely going to go to another finals right now. So I got to think that you might be right, dog. It might have been a mistake for both teams. I think that he will win the championship this year. I'm calling it right now. I've been calling it a little bit, but I'm saying it right now. I think that the Heat will win the championship because Jimmy Butler is too dominant, and they have some guys who are nice. Kyle Lowry's nice. Bam Adebayo's nice. I think they do enough, and they play good defense. That's what let me tell you, dog. They're like the only team in the NBA that plays defense anymore that I've seen in recent games. So shout out to them. Shout out to the Heat. Shout out to Jimmy Butler. Sorry, dog. The Sixers. They did fumble the bag. They should have looked at things with their eyes and not on paper. Because on paper, Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons are better than Jimmy Butler. But if you watch the game with your eyes, you can see Jimmy Butler is like on another level compared to those two guys. So
here's my question for you.
those nerds.
What if
Look at
what if Jimmy Butler goes out and wins the championship this year? Like you said, okay, whatever. Does he leave Miami then because he's satisfied and that team isn't going to be what it was and come back to Philly? Is there any possibility of that, or am I just hoping too much as a fan? Because I might be stretching, but that would be sick.
I got to be honest with you, man. Jimmy Butler and this other thing too. It's different when you're in Philadelphia and when you're in a city, because when you're in a city, you know how that player likes the city in general. Like, I know people from certain cities. They'll tell me this guy's not leaving, and I trust that they're not going to leave. Jimmy Butler, if he really loved Philadelphia, just the city itself and the culture, I think he'll come back. But honestly, Jimmy Butler reminds me of a guy that this is why I stopped liking LeBron James so much. It was LeBron James, one of my favorite players of all time. When I stopped liking LeBron James was when he went back to Cleveland.
Yep.
Because I was like,
really?
He won a championship with Miami. Yeah, he won 2 championships with Miami. Went to the finals for 4 straight years, and then you go back to the team that you left that didn't want you. That you couldn't win a championship with. You go, and I personally don't respect that. I don't respect. That's why I don't have respect for. I like LeBron James a lot, one of my favorite players. I just don't respect him anymore as like an all-time player because of that move to going back to Cleveland. If Jimmy Butler goes back to Philadelphia, to me it's soft. People blame KD because they think, oh, like KD was soft for going to the Warriors. I think KD would be soft if he went back to the Thunder. That's the only way I'm thinking he's soft. So, with that being said, though, I don't think he's going back to Sixers. I think he'll ride it out with the Heat, especially if they win a championship. I can see him maybe even doing something like joining forces with AD, maybe even LeBron in LA as long as they'll stay. But I don't know. I'm thinking he's staying in Miami though. My short answer to that long answer,
I hear you. So what I did is, hopefully, is there any bad echo on your end?
There is. There's a little bit of echo, yeah.
Okay, how about now? Anything?
Yeah, it still is. I'm trying to sound.
Let me try to put my phone in here because my goal is to be able to get everybody that's coming.
I got you.
From 302 Birds over to Up for Debate.
I'm about to solve the echo issue, everybody who's watching.
But yeah, I definitely about Jimmy Butler. We'll see where he ends up, but I do think you're right. I think he's loyal. I think he'll stay put, and I respect that. But at the end of the day, we shall see.
Perfect. All right. By the way, there's no echo anymore. Now my audio is coming out from my car, so we're good.
Oh, cool. Bet. Anyway, Jay, I'll let you take this topic next, and that is actually going to be back to the Sixers. We'll just get all my pain out now because I've been really thinking about it. But I think we might have talked about this on 302 Birds, not yet on this podcast, but looking back on it now, who won the Simmons Harden trade?
Well, first of all, I'm going to go back and say Sixers front office are a bunch of nerds, man. All they look at is what's on paper. They don't look at what's going on like actually in basketball, because you just talked about Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons. On paper look like they were a lot better than Jimmy Butler. You watch the games, just a bunch of nerds, man. Watch the basketball games, man. It's fun. Watch them. It's your job. And then you look at James Harden, and don't get me wrong, I mean, Ben Simmons is not playing basketball, so I'd rather take the guy who's playing basketball. But if you look on paper, James Harden's one of the best players, maybe the greatest shooting guard of all time on paper as far as what he does analytically. But if you look at his actual career, he hasn't won anything, and he's had really good teams. He's not a winner. He's not a closer. He folded in that elimination game this year. I'm sure you watched it. I'm sure you watched it a little too much probably. You're probably a little sad about that. But James Harden's the guy who's going to fold in big games, unfortunately, because I'm a big Harden guy. I like Harden. But maybe wasn't the guy you want to give up Ben Simmons for when you know you could have gotten maybe somebody else that maybe would have been better offer on the table. But the Sixers still won the trade because the other guy didn't play. You know what I'm saying? The other guy, it's like, and he's still a good player. Don't be wrong. But it's like if I gave you like a used like Air Jordan, just one, not even a pair, just one Air Jordan, and you gave me nothing in return, you still won that trade, dog. You know what I'm saying? Because I got nothing.
It's better than nothing, yeah. It's better than no Air Jordan, yeah.
Exactly. So they won. Sixers
I
won.
like what you said. I think in the short term, and shout out to you, Jay. This is genius. This is dope. We're live on the TikTok. We're live on the YouTube. We got 16 people in my live. We got a few people in Jay's live. Follow both pages. Come through on our YouTube. Hit that subscribe button for us. We're talking sports all night. But right now, for you who just joined, we're talking about James Harden and Simmons and who won that trade. Personally, I agree. Short term, the Sixers want because a guy sat on the bench for the whole year. But long term, that might be where we really start to get fucked because Harden was that guy. He's not that guy anymore. And I really don't even want us to pay him. My goal is go get Bradley Beal. I mean, we talked about it last week. The Sixers are hopefully, what's up, Luke? The Sixers are hopefully trying to bring in a third superstar. Who would that be? LeBron James. No, I'm just kidding. There could be a lot of. I don't think it could be LeBron. If it's LeBron, I'm going to be shocked. I'm going to be so hyped too because I'm a huge LeBron guy. But if it's not, who could it be? Honestly, Bradley Beal is the guy that's at the top of my wish list.
I'm going to tell you right now. If they bring Bradley Beal in and James Harden walks, the Sixers are not making the playoffs next year. Tell you right now, Bradley Beal is not the guy. You're just talking about a guy who folds under pressure. Bradley Beal folds under any amount of pressure, like any
Let him
amount
play
of
with Embiid. Let him play with Embiid. That's my opinion. I don't know, but
Bradley
we'll get into our next topic.
His fans are gonna boo him. He's gonna cry.
You really hate this guy for some reason. What's your beef
He's gonna
with Beal?
cry, bro. No, the Philly fans will make him cry tears if he plays for Philly.
Hey, well, we might have to do that. But getting into our Rookie of the Year predictions right now. It's too early for Rookie of the Year predictions. Let us know in the chat, guys. I don't know. I don't think so. But we got Trayvon Walker, some of the favorites, betting favorites, Sauce Gardner, Aiden Hutchinson. See a theme? It's probably going to be a defensive guy. And then maybe Kenny Pickett. And I say Kenny Pickett because here's the reason why. And this is the Dalton betting favorites. So you're right now with a special segment of the Up for Debate podcast. Welcome to Dalton Bets, where you get the bets for the NFL season. I don't know. Was that good? But this is where you're going to learn how to make that quiche, baby. You're going to make that cash with me. What you're going to do is you're going to not bet on Trayvon Walker. That's the most dumbass pick you can make. Dumbass pick by the Jaguars organization. Dumbass pick if you're a betting person. Because this guy, he's a freak, but he was a second-round talent 2 months ago. Get the hell out of here. Sauce, I like that pick. I do like it, but don't forget the team he plays for. Just because his mirror situation, he is cursed. He can't win Rookie of the Year. Sorry, Robson. And then you got A. Hutch. A. Hutch, I love that pick. That could be the betting favorite defensively for me. His situation is good. He's going into not a horrible situation, and he is the best overall prospect. If I'm a betting man, betting favorite, I'm taking Aiden Hutchinson. But who doesn't love a good sleeper pick, and who doesn't love a fun pick? And that's where I bring Kenny Pickett into the picture. Look at Mac Jones' situation last year. Walks into the best situation with the best coach, and he balls. I think Kenny Pickett walks into a better situation with a really good coach. Probably, I think, the second best coach in the NFL, in my opinion, is Mike Tomlin right after Bill Belichick. But he walks into a phenomenal situation with a couple good wideouts, a phenomenal rookie tight end, Pat Freiermuth, and Najee Harris. So this guy is bound to probably win some kind of award. What are you thinking, Jay? Bets! Get your bets!
He brought up Mac Jones, Bailey Zapp. You know, he might ball out with Bill Belichick. I'm just playing. I'm not going to go Bailey Zapp right now. I'm not going to go Bailey Zapp. So there's two picks I have. There's one that's a real sleeper. Oh, there's three picks. Zion Johnson. I'm not going to go there either, dog. I'm just playing. I'm not going to Zion Johnson. Great. I'm not going to Zion Johnson. Chris Olave. So this is my thinking here, dog. Tell me how you feel about this. I think Trayvon Walker might get it if he really balls out. And, you know, it might happen. But we were talking about him, Aiden Hutchinson, Kayvon Thibodeau, the edge rushers. They might get it. But I'm thinking Drew Brees comes back from retirement for the Saints, and Chris Olave balls out because Michael Thomas probably is not going to play again. You know what I'm saying? They have whoever else they have. I don't care. Chris Olave is probably going to be the wide receiver one with Drew Brees at quarterback. Alvin Kamara might be in prison. Hopefully he's not, man. Then getting all the targets. You know what I'm saying? All the short stuff that Alvin Kamara was getting. All the deep stuff. All the slant boy. He's getting slants too. Getting it all. Chris Olave out of Ohio State, I think, for the Saints, might be Rookie of the Year this year. That's my official pick right now. Woo! Drew Brees come back. Let's make it happen.
I love that pick. Yeah, you're right, Jay. You got to think about situationally. Who is in the best situation? It's not about who's the best overall player, because we saw that last year. I personally think that who was the first overall QB taken last year? Wasn't Trey Lance? Was it Justin Fields?
Oh no, he was 10.
No, Trevor Lawrence. I personally think
Trevor Lawrence
obviously
and Wilson.
Trevor
Yeah.
Lawrence is way more talented than Mac Jones. But at the end of the day, Mac Jones walked into the best situation. So we'll really see who wins this award. It's too early to tell, but if we're betting favorites going into the season, and this is something I do want to remember, it's Aiden Hutchinson, Sauce Gardner, Kenny Pickett, I think is a great value pick if you're betting, because just situationally. Moving on now. Yeah, John Johnson, like Jay said. Did John Johnson ever play in the AFC South? Or am I tripping?
I don't know. I remember the Browns and the Rams. That's really it.
I feel like a lot of notoriously bad teams play in the AFC South. I'm sorry, AFC South. So Texans, Titans, just a historically bad division. But Viv wanted to do this topic. He's not here, but who do you got running the South?
So everyone is saying Jonathan Taylor runs the South now because age and running backs and injury recency and all these things that just happened to Derrick Henry. But I love Jonathan Taylor. Him and his girlfriend on TikTok are hilarious, man. He's got himself a good one. Shout out to Jonathan Taylor and his girl. But I'm gonna go with the king, man. And there's only one king in sports, and we talked about LeBron. I know he calls himself the king, whatever. There's only one king in sports in my book, and that's King Henry. That's the only guy that I call the king in sports. This guy's a monster, man. This guy is dominant. This guy will run through your face. This guy will stiff arm you to hell. This guy will do whatever he wants. And I'm talking about literally, like, he will stiff arm you, and it feels like you just traveled 80,000 miles into the pits of hell from what it looked like we did to the Buffalo Bills. But all I'm saying is, I'm going Derrick Henry still as that guy who runs the South. I think he's going to be the reason if Mike Vrabel, whatever like that, trusts him to get those carries that he was getting in the beginning of last year, not in the playoffs. I think the Titans win the division. I think the Jags are going to be very competitive. I think the Texans are going to be very competitive. I think the Colts are going to be very competitive. But Derrick Henry is the X factor, I think, to win that division. Because of him, the Titans should win. So I'm going Derrick Henry.
No, I like that pick a lot. Once again, that is a great value pick. Because look at history. People have been saying, "Oh, Derrick Henry sucks. Derrick Henry this. Derrick Henry that. He can't do this. He can't do that." But what does Derrick Henry do year after year after year after year after year? He just fucking balls. I remember. I'm going to say this like an old man, because my freshman year of college, really my senior year, I played Madden competitively, like a lot. And Derrick Henry came out, this most feared card, at 88 overall. Look it up, 88. I swear to God, Madden 18 maybe. And this dude was just bully ball. He had great speed, and he was just like a bowling ball. You put the ball in his hands, and every carry's 8 yards, 8 yards, 8 yards. And in the NFL, I knew that he was going to be a beast because of how I used him in Madden. And you can tell me I'm stupid, I'm crazy, Madden doesn't amount to anything. But I told my one friend, Dan, I said, this guy's going to be a stud. He goes, that guy's ass. Because he was behind, what's the other running back's name that used to play in Tennessee? Deion Lewis? Yeah. He was behind Deion Lewis or whatever, and he was like, oh, he's a better running back, this, that. No, he's fucking not. Derrick Henry has solidified himself as the past running back of the past decade. 2015 to 2025, that's you, Derrick Henry. Even if you want to do 5, I would do it by 5 years. Probably at the beginning, Adrian Peterson from 2010, around that era. And then the next era, I got it as Derrick Henry. This guy's so good. Jonathan Taylor's good too, but who runs the South? The Tennessee Titans still. I saw a stat that said the Tennessee Titans are like 8-3 against above 500 teams, the best in the NFL at that stat. Even with their back against the wall, this team is going to find a way to win. I do think losing A.J. Brown severely hurts them, but we'll see what they do with Burks. And I do think Vrabel's a decent coach. And as far as Jonathan Taylor goes, shout out to South Jersey. He's from there. I would love to see him ball this year. I think it's going to be a close division, but I just think that the Titans have more chemistry, and Tannehill's been in that system longer, so they should win the division.
Hey, Dalt, I got 2 things for you on that rant. Number 1, and Tom, shout out to Slucci. Shout out to Tom. We respect that. Dalt, all I got to say, first of all, I thought that voice was like your SpongeBob when he didn't have water voice. That's what I thought that was at first. I thought it was that SpongeBob dehydration voice. But second of all, Mike Vrabel, I'm going to say something. I've said this before. There's been 2 times where all you have to do is run the ball, and you probably win the game. You probably go to the Super Bowl. You probably win the Super Bowl in the first case, especially. All you got to do is hand the ball off. You decide to pass it, and your quarterback throws an interception, and you guys lose the game. It was Tennessee against Cincy this past year, which they should have won the game if they should have ran the ball with Derrick Henry, won the game instead of throwing that stupid pass to Akina Westbrook, or whatever the hell his name is. And Russell Wilson. The difference is Mike Vrabel did it with Ryan Tannehill. At least Pete Carroll had Russell Wilson to do it with. Mike Vrabel, what are you doing, man? It's the stupidest call in the history of football. Run the ball and win the game. It's over. Anyway, I'm never going to get over that, by the way, because that was the Titans Super Bowl right there. It's done. Sorry, Titans fans. It's over.
They're very, very disappointed because that was, like you're saying, like it feels like the Titans were right there multiple years, and it feels like they always just drop the ball last second. And I'm sorry to say that, Titans fans, but it's definitely true. I mean, we'll see. They should win the South this year, but oh my God, the Colts are just built at all levels. And you forget, a lot of people forget, Quentin Nelson comes back this year too. Probably the best offensive lineman in the NFL. So that's only really going to help their run game.
Hey, Davis Mills. Don't sleep on Davis Mills, and don't sleep on Trevor Lawrence with all his new weapons that they just invested in the offseason.
2022 finals outlook. You said earlier, Jay, the Heat are your pick.
Yep.
Elaborate more on that.
I'm going to elaborate that. Someone in TikTok is saying thoughts on the Raptors just really quick. The Raptors can make the playoffs next year. I don't think they got the first round, but hope they do. Shout out to the Six. Anyway, back to today and this year. I got the Heat winning it all, and this is why. Because the Mavericks, if you haven't heard yet, if you guys are living under a rock, don't watch the NBA, the Mavericks are done. They're 3-0. Luka and Jalen Brunson are carrying the team significantly. No one else is doing really much of anything, unfortunately. The Warriors are kind of running through them. The Warriors haven't really been tested this year. They were getting tested in the Memphis series, but then Jordan Poole broke the code, quote unquote, and messed up Ja Morant's knee, and he was out for the rest of the series. So it's an easy win for them at that point without their star. So I think the Warriors are going to obviously make the finals. I think the Miami Heat in 6 or 7 are going to make the finals. And at that point, the Heat are a battle-tested team. It seems like they've kind of been through it in the past few years with making the finals and losing, having a tough year the year before, the year after, and then this year right now having the roads that they've had to the finals, all the injuries and things they had to get through. The bench players are stepping up and playing great. So when it comes down to it, I think the bench of the Heat are going to be ready for the big moment. And I think the Heat are going to are going to end up taking the Warriors to 7 and winning the game in Miami in Game 7 to win the championship. That's how I'm feeling. Jimmy Butler, he's a baller. Don't sleep on him. Defense. Hey, but I will say this, though, before we go dark. The Warriors do play amazing team basketball. They do something that a lot of teams don't. The Mavericks don't do this with Luka. The Celtics don't really do this as much either. And a lot of teams don't really do this, which is move the ball around and get good shots. The Hawks definitely don't do this. The Hawks are probably one of the worst teams at this. Miami plays great defense, and that's been why they got here. The Warriors can combat that and counter that with the way that they move the ball and move around and pass the ball. But I think that he's still going to win. I think the defense is still going to be good enough, and their offense is going to be good enough to get the dub.
What about earlier you were saying that you love the Heat. What about you not hot on the Mavericks, or they can't come back at all now?
No, they're done. They're done, dog. Tuesday, about 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, they're booking their tickets to Cancun, out to wherever they're going for the summer, because they're done Tuesday night. I think they're going to be. If they win Tuesday night, they might win Tuesday night, just because. And Thursday they'll be done for sure. They'll be out by the weekend.
Damn. All right. Well, I feel a little bit different. My NBA Finals favorite is the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
I thought you were serious, dog.
Kind of. I'm a little bit serious, though. I am a little bit serious. No, they're not my favorite. I do agree. I think that they're done. But don't sleep on them to come back. Like, this Golden State Warriors have already blown a 3-0 lead. They're a little bit older. This Mavericks team is young. Don't sleep on the Mavericks to ball out. Back against the wall, this is when you play your best. I think that they're done too, but I think that they should get at least one win. If they get swept, I'll be fucking shocked. And then Boston and Miami. Boston has really honestly impressed me. And I don't like Boston as a Philly fan, but I'm honestly impressed with the Celtics. When I was a kid, I actually used to be a Celtics fan. A lot of people don't know that, but I did. And then when I got to 8th, because you know why? Because I love green. My favorite color is green. So with the Kelly green, I was like, oh, that's tough. I actually still probably have a Celtics jersey in my closet somewhere that has my last name on it. Not even a player, my fucking last name. That's even worse. But when I was in 8th grade, I came to my senses and I'm like, I'm from Philadelphia. Mama didn't raise a bitch. Whatever. Need to get back. Need to get back to my life. And anyway, I really have a lot of respect for the Celtics. The Celtics and what they've done and what young Jason Tatum's done, elevating that team right now to where they're at in the Eastern Conference Finals. Got a lot of respect for that. But I think it's Jimmy Butler's time. I honestly have my favorite, though, to win the finals as the Warriors. I kind of want to see Steph Curry get another one. I can't even lie. I love Steph Curry. I got a lot of respect for him.
Hey, Dalt, you got your boy Tom Saluch in the comments over here, and he said something. I gotta address it, Dalt. He said Luka got lucky last round. That's what he said on TikTok comments right now. And I gotta tell y'all something. For everyone that's saying Luka got lucky, let me tell you something. It's not luck when the other team doesn't play any defense whatsoever and leaves you wide open for 11 straight shots and you hit 9 of them. No, I think he hit like all of them. I don't know. But it's not luck. If you leave me wide open, I'll hit these shots. It's not luck. Luka Doncic is a professional basketball player. You got to play some kind of defense. The Phoenix Suns, for some reason, refused to. DeAndre Ayton was just staring at him 5 feet away, daring him to shoot wide open threes all game. So, not luck. Unless you want to say it was lucky that the team didn't want to play defense. But the Warriors, they play defense. That's the difference between the Suns and the Warriors and every other team Luka's played against. But yeah,
Luka's trash. That's what Tom will be saying right now. Look at Luka's ass.
Not the man wide open, man. It makes no sense. All the Suns fans were crying because they were like, why didn't they play defense? I'm like, bro, that's your team.
So, we have our Eagles fan, my podcast partner, Salucci here. I want to talk about this with an outside opinion because we're going to talk about it on our podcast next week. But yeah, obviously, you've heard me, talk about Jesse Bates, blah, 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 blah. Let's look at what we have right now. Let's look at the glass like it's 75% full, specifically. 3/4 of the way. Because if we get Jesse Bates, it will be 100. Darius Slay, Anthony Harris, who I think is a very underrated safety. That's why I kind of wish Vib was on, because Vib would be backing me up. This guy is underrated and younger than a lot of people think. And James Bradbury, all in one secondary next year. What are you thinking?
So I'm going to fix a graphic for you first and foremost. I don't think it's a scary secondary. I think it could be a sneaky secondary. Because I think when you look at this secondary and this Eagles defense, you're not going to really be afraid. Like, I'm not afraid of this secondary, like, at all. Like, I'm really not. But the thing is that might be what might be good for them in the first half of the season because people might not be afraid of them. And then Darius Slay gets a pick 6, or James Bradbury gets a big pick, or so your safety out there who you're saying is big hype that I really don't know much even about. Honestly, it might do some big. I don't know if he's a big hitter if he gets picks, but if they could do something to surprise some teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, that could be a really sneaky good secondary that people kind of sleep on, kind of stays under the radar. But then week 16, you look at the stats and you look at the secondary, their numbers and what they're doing. It might like really blow people's minds what they could do. And because they're not Jalen. There's no name on here to me that stands out like a Jalen Ramsey, like a Jared Alexander, like a Tyrann Mathieu, like a Derwin James even. Like, none of these names like shout out to me. A guy like I'm afraid of these people, but they might be sneaky, like really good, sneakily under the radar. Especially Darius Slay, who is a big name type player. He's just not that guy that I'm afraid of. So we'll see what's popping. I think that they have a strong secondary, and we'll see what they do, dog. Because it can either look really bad and people just be like, it's not a big deal, or it could look really great and people are like, oh damn, that team really did that. So how you feeling though, dog? I know you're excited though. I mean, you have to be excited.
Oh, I'm thrilled because this is a completely revamped defense. Both of those guys on the left, Darius Slay and Anthony Harris. Obviously, Darius Slay more than Anthony Harris. But Anthony Harris, too. Both of those guys, I think, are ballers, especially when they're in the right system. They only play even better. And now that you add James Bradbury in the mix, like, people are like, oh, Bradbury's washed up. Bradbury's not a cornerback number 1. Bradbury is not the player he used to be. Fine. He doesn't fucking need to be. He's cornerback number 2 in this offense. That's what people forget. He's going to be really just a deep coverage guy doing what he's good at. I think the Eagles got great value with him. I loved him when he was in Carolina. And he just needs to be a cornerback number 2 and just play decent. he wasn't as good as he was 2 years ago last year. But last year, one thing I did want to bring up is he had 4 picks. So on an off year, he still had 4 interceptions in 16 games. That's 25% of games, really, that you're forcing a turnover. A little bit under with 17 games. But the point is, this secondary, I think is scary. I don't think it's sneaky. I think it's downright scary. And I'm biased as an Eagles fan, and I know that. But also, as a bias, you know your players. You know what they're capable of. You have that inner gut instinct as a fan. And I have it this year. I'm really, really excited, like you said, Jay. And at the end of the day, I think one last piece you need, and that's Jesse Bates.
Jesse Bates. Now that's a guy that you know who that guy is. Like who's that guy with the dreads? Who's my brother right here, number 28? What's the guy named? Greg Harris. You said
Anthony Harris.
Anthony Harris. This brother. All I'm saying is if I told any football, like not any football fan, but if I told most football fans, I'm like, hey man, you got to go up against Anthony Harris this week. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like, who? They're gonna be like, I'm not worried about nobody named Anthony Harris. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I can't say that I'm not afraid of them, but they can be scary. I just don't think the names pop out at you. Besides Slay, does pop. Darius Slay does pop out at you, but the other guys, I don't know. But Jesse Bates, all I'll say though is you don't need the scary names like Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa. Those are scary names. AD, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, dog. I don't want to. Fletcher Cox is a scary name, so there you go. But I don't want to just like just completely.
It's all right. I have a really good analogy that you're gonna love.
All right, here we go.
All right. Can you name for me? So you're saying, okay, I'm not going to know who Anthony Harris is. Okay, fine. But you know who Darius Slay is. You know who James Bradbury is. And if we got Jesse Bates, you know who he is. Can you name for me all, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 members technically. I just need 4. Can you name for me 4 members of the Legion of Boom?
Oh, Richard Sherman.
Yep.
Brandon Brown.
I think you got it already. I think you're good now.
Byron Maxwell, Jeremy Lane, Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas. That's 6, right?
You said Richard Sherman. You said
Cam Chancellor. 7.
You got it. All 6. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, I got 7 for you, I think.
But the point is, Brandon Browner, Byron Maxwell.
Those guys were nasty. Jeremy Lane was nasty. He was like the 6th guy on that defense, on that second.
Jeremy Lane, I think, was a little bit better. But Byron Maxwell and Brandon Browner, more specifically, they kind of fell off once they left, especially Byron Maxwell. I'm victim to that, I know. But he definitely fell off. They kind of fell off, and they weren't the same players that they were. So my point with Anthony Harris is I feel like in a good system, it can elevate him to one of those names. Now, everybody, I just want to say Jay did used to be a Seahawks fan. But I am very impressed that you knew that, Jay. I wanted to know that. Brandon Browner, Jeremy Lane, shout out to you. But I don't know. I think it's downright scary. Why do you say sneaky as a reason?
I say it's sneaky because this Harris guy might be really good and he might have a breakout season this year. Darius Slay is really good, but he's not a guy who like strikes fear in a lot of offenses. I mean, as far as like from a casual fan perspective, you know what I'm saying? As far as like for instance, like he may have the numbers like Jalen Ramsey, but when you hear like Jalen, like it's a first name basis. Like no one ever says, "Oh, Darius."
I hear you. It's a household name. It's
consistent. He's just a guy who's like he puts fear in defenses. Like you don't want to go like Richard Sherman. Like you didn't want to go on that side of the field even. And then James Bradbury, who we know is a solid guy. He's not a guy that like we've ever felt like is a high profile guy, especially now in his career. But don't like you said, dog. He's gonna be a solid quarterback too. He's gonna be a solid second guy. You have a starting corner in Darius Slay, and then you have your safety now who is solid. So they're gonna do what they need to do to win games, in my opinion. But I'm not afraid of them. You know what I'm saying? The only defenses there's like 5 defenses you're afraid of. And you probably know which ones I'm talking about. When you talk about the Rams defense, talk about a few of these defenses out here that you can really think about. Like, these defenses are scary. I don't want to mess with that corner. I don't want to like match up against this guy, this safety. But anyway, sorry, dog. I love the Birds, but I'm not scared.
I hear you. I think everything that you're saying is fair. I think I don't disagree. I think that the Eagles have a scary secondary, but I'm also an Eagles fan. But also, I'm usually right as an Eagles fan.
You should be excited. It should just be an exciting team.
I'm very excited, but I'm not fully satisfied yet because I want to solidify it. I want to have that defense that I feel like if Jalen Hurts is that guy and that that reward just goes off the chart and he ends up being a stud next year and gets us to 12, 13 wins somehow, then I want to have that defense that I feel like we can go somewhat deep into the playoffs with.
Hey, dog, you know who's scary, though? Well, I was going to say Khalil Mack, but you know also scary, Tyreek Hill.
You really think? Now, Tua turned the ball over. Tua Tagovailoa. Tua
Tagovailoa, you said?
How do you say it?
He wears a lot of Versace.
Versace?
Tua Tagovailoa.
Tua turned the ball over. Is it Tua time in Miami? I mean, they go out and they get all these pieces in the past 2 years. I mean, they get Jalen Waddle in the draft last year. They bring in Tyreek Hill and Terron Armstead in the free agency. Mike Gesicki's there. If they would have kept Devontae Parker, that would have been freaking nasty, but they don't need him, honestly. So many players on this team right now. Is it Tua time?
Well, I don't know where my watch is at, but it doesn't matter because I already know it's Tua time, baby. You already know. Look, I don't got the weird Dolphins colors. This is the closest I could get, but you know I had to rock it because today we're talking about my guy, Tua Tagovailoa, and one of my favorite teams that's not the Chargers, the Miami Dolphins. They just became my favorite team this year. Why? Because they got one of the best young quarterbacks in Tua Tagovailoa. There's people, and again, I don't want to bring this up all the time. I know Mike likes to go in here and bring it up for no reason. You know what I'm saying? I know Viv brings it up sometimes. Shout out to Mike and Viv. But you talk about Deshaun Watson being a guy. Oh, I got something that's hilarious. Someone compared Deshaun Watson to Davis Mills. This is like, now this kind of side note. I'm getting off track, but he said Deshaun Watson's like Lizzo because she's like extremely overweight, but people think it's empowering because like for some reason it's like, oh, they're overcoming something. But then you see Rick Ross or any other dude who's super overweight and they're just like put on a shirt, like disgusting. That's kind of what it is like Davis Mills. Like, you know, he wins 4 games and you guys are like, this is disgusting. And then Deshaun wins 4 games, you're like, this guy's the next coming of somebody. He's incredible. He's the best quarterback. Anyway, so I was dying when I read that. Anyway, but Tua Tagovailoa, I think he's going to be a solid quarterback. I think he's going to now have 2 fast guys that he could like throw the ball too short. You've seen Jimmy G do this in San Francisco with Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle. He has Mike Gesicki and 2 guys that can just throw the ball too short. They'll catch it and they'll run for a bunch of yards and make him look really good. People say he has a noodle arm. Who cares if he has a noodle arm? He has to throw the ball 5 yards and let these guys just go. And then every now and then they're going to be like, all right, now we're going to play underneath. We're going to play tight on these guys. And Tyreek Hill's going to just go over the top, blow it over. And then he'll throw that one ball, put all his body into it, get it down the field. And Tyreek just needs to be anywhere close for him to run over there, locate it, catch it, and score a touchdown, throw the deuces up. And I think it's going to be a beautiful year for Miami. The only thing is the AFC is really tough. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs because the AFC is so tough. If they could beat out the Bills and win the division, that would be crazy incredible for the Miami Dolphins. But I don't know. I think they could grab a 7 seed, maybe over the Chiefs or over the Raiders. But I'm excited for the AFC this year. That's for sure.
Here's how I feel. I think they go out and they spend all this money, and it's not necessarily for Tua. It's for the future. Because if Tua doesn't work out, we've heard the Brady rumors that Tom Brady may be going to the Miami Dolphins and becoming a part owner and all that shit. That could be true. I doubt it. But maybe Aaron Rodgers goes down there. Maybe somebody else goes down there and they're a win-now team with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Terron Armstead. Because I don't know how I feel about Tua. I was just looking up the stats. Out of 21 games, Tua has won 13 of them, 61% basically. His average yards a game in the 21 games that he started is 194 yards a game on 9.9 yards per catch. Okay numbers. His longest pass ever was 65 yards. I'm pretty sure somebody found a stat this week that's been surfacing the NFL that our guy NFL Mike pointed out, where Odell Beckham Jr. has more career long balls over 40 yards, touchdowns, than Tua. Come on. Odell's passed the ball 10 times in his career? Probably. Tua, you have passed the ball. I can find the exact number. 678 fucking times. What are you doing, bro?
Hey, but that kind of goes to my point, though, right, dog?
It does. I mean, I feel like here's where Tua's at right now. Tua's at this point of where it's boom or bust. And he's either going to boom or he's going to bust. And I think at this 61%, this 194 yards a game, and 1 touchdown and 1 interception. He's either going to drastically improve from here or he's going to stay stagnant and then decrease. But I think he's going to stay stagnant for a little bit and then mid-season just decrease. I don't know when Mike McDaniel pulls him out. That's the one redeeming factor I do feel for Tua is I feel like Mike McDaniel is a younger, relatable coach, and that's usually good for younger QBs. They want to play for a guy who's fun to play with, who they have good banter with, they have a good relationship with. So Tua time, let's hope so. I mean, I'm rooting for Tua. I can't lie. I am rooting for him.
No, Tua's going to ball out. I think he's going to ball out. But what you said is a good point. Odell Beckham has a lot of these deep ball touchdowns because when he has the ball, defenses are really looking at the short stuff, the run on the jet sweep, maybe something else they got. They're worried about the next 5 yards of the field and cutting that off, and then someone leaks out and he has a wide open target. I think Tua's going to see a lot of that this year when he gets the ball to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and even Mike Gesicki in these short 5-10-yard pass situations, screen plays, jet sweeps, things like that they're going to be doing. And they're going to be so focused on the short yardage stuff that might break out for a touchdown that someone's going to leak out. Matt Collins or whoever the hell they got that no one cares about is going to leak out somehow and be wide open for a 70-yard touchdown. Tua Tagovailoa is going to hit him and do his little celebration, you know what I'm saying, with his little whatever he does with himself, and they're going to be happy in Miami, and that's going to be what it is. Tyreek Hill changes, and this is something that I've been telling people. I'm going to tell you, though, the Chiefs are probably going to finish last in the NFL. Andy Reid's a great coach. Pat Mahomes is a great quarterback, so it might not happen. But Tyreek Hill is that big of a difference maker that he'll take your team from first to worst and possibly from worst to first because he's that guy. Tyreek Hill's he's a top 3 wide receiver with Devontae Adams and Cooper Kupp right now, and he's like 5'10". So he's that guy. Tyreek, shout out. Miami.
I'll say this, and this will be my last point, and I want to thank everybody for coming to the show tonight. We do appreciate y'all. If you guys aren't already, follow Jay on TikTok at JBolted. Follow me on TikTok at 302birds. We go live every Monday night at 9 p.m. You can also listen to us on Spotify tomorrow. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. But Tua really, really has all the keys to success in front of him. Like when you just say some of the names on that offense, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, Gaskin, I guess, is still there, the running back. Taron Armstead at left tackle. Edmonds, yeah. Do they still have Will Fuller too?
No, he's gone.
Okay. Matt Collins even. And hey, Matt Collins has a ring, baby. I know that because he used to play for my Birds. But it could be really, really interesting to see what the Dolphins do next year. Because there are a lot of teams, I think, in the NFL. My last point, there are a lot of teams in the NFL that have boom or bust potential next year solely based on their QB. Even the fucking Bears, the worst team in the NFL, the team that we all shit on, could end up being a 7 or 8 win team next year if Justin Fields is a god. Out of Tua, Fields, Hurts, there are a couple. Trey Lance, I think, could be a good one. I would even argue Matt Corral maybe for the Panthers. There's a couple more guys on that list, too, that I would add in there. But out of those guys, one of them is going to solidify themselves as a top 5 QB this season. Hot take, but one of them is. It happens every year. One of these young guys comes out of nowhere and lights it up. It was Justin Herbert a couple years ago, the rookie. That wasn't even the first overall QB taken in the draft. And that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But could Tua be that guy?
I'm telling you, Trevor Lawrence or Tua Tagovailoa.
Him too. Trevor's a great answer, too. And Trevor's such a stud. But you think, okay, does he have enough talent yet to take that next step? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, it's Christian Kirk now, man. They paid him all that money, so you might as well get to work and use it, you know?
Yeah, might as well. One of the highest paid wide receivers in the NFL. But everybody, that's all we got for you guys tonight. I do want to thank Mr. J100, J Fly, for coming through. Shout out to Vib. Follow him on TikTok too.
Oh, damn. I don't know where Dot went, but much love, y'all. I'll let you guys. Dot's going to play the outro at some point. I'm just going to be here. He's going to play right now, though. Peace out. Much love, Dot. Much love, everybody.
I don't know why I did that, but anyways, Jay said it best. Appreciate y'all. Peace.